You've been around for about 7 years now. Were there any key milestones when you had a really big jump in the amount of clubs or users that you had, and if so, how did they come about? Has it all been through a lot of word of mouth, clubs referring other clubs, or has it been a lot on your end, having to network with other clubs? How has that part of the process been?
I reckon in the 6 years that we've done it, so in the 6 seasons that I've done MyClubtap, or
Yeah,
Club Fantasy Cricket that used to be called at the start. We've reached about 75 or 76 clubs across 6 Australian states,
nice.
and all of those have predominantly been us trying to reach out to the clubs.
Yeah,
Few of them have been word of mouth as well, as you mentioned as well. You've heard about it somewhere.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I guess word of mouth is helping definitely, and it's predominantly been us trying to reach out to the clubs up until this point. But going forward, I do expect to start picking up a little bit more. As I said, the platform has grown, has changed pretty much every year. Looking at that in year two and year three, and look at it now, it's completely different. It's changed completely. So because we've tried to listen to what clubs want, because at the end of the day it is for them. So got to kind of move with what people want, and
yeah.
how, and what best can be kind of provided through such a system. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it goes and reaches a little more people. In terms of the jump that we saw, it was in year 5. I think we had about 55 clubs, fantasy games running at the same time on the
Wow. Yeah,
platform. That was the biggest year. Last season was a little more quieter because uh, of our own challenges building the platform. It was a new platform last year. However, so year 5 was the biggest one, I would say. About 55
nice.
games running concurrently at that time.
Wow, awesome. Okay. And I guess in terms of the sort of sporting community within Australia, we were just speaking before I started recording about the purpose of Sport Tech Daily and trying to connect the different pieces of the sport and tech space within Australia. I guess for you, you're based in Melbourne. You've started this company a few years ago now. Have you had any involvement with any of the other sporting organizations or bodies, or any meetups or anything like that? And if not, from personal level, like you've started this company by yourself, are there any podcasts or any resources that you look into to, I guess, to help a challenge of wearing 6 or 7 different hats and starting to grow a company?
I guess up until as I said, like up until year 3 and 4, it was never something that I kind of wanted to pursue full time,
Yeah,
or go down that path. However, in the last couple of years that I've been doing this, I think I've started to go out to to a lot of association events.
yeah,
That's something I think was different and was a start that we did, and that's something we actually did. We've actually been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. We partnered with a couple of cricket associations. That's been one way for us to reach out to a lot of clubs, because you know starting something like this, it is for clubs, and how do I reach, or how do you reach those clubs, has been one of the biggest challenge. So that's something that I've used more as a resource to be able to reach more clubs. But very recently I've started to kind of you know go to few couple of events. Very recently I'd attended one of the marketing events. Again, it's me trying to learn and see what more I have to do to kind of start taking this out from my own hands. I mean, I've always thought of it that it's been too centralized with me all the time. So which is why the platform has kind of moved to a point where the clubs can manage and hold the whole thing themselves. That's a
okay,
technical change in the system, in the way the system was being developed at couple of years back.
yeah,
So I've made those changes, and those have come from my conversations going to a couple of these events. So one of them was with Marketing Entourage. uh, so that's been my, this is, I would say, Nakul, this is just a start for me.
yeah,
I've just started going out and reaching out to more people, and again, talking to you is a part of all of that process, and learning, talking to everyone, what more needs to be done to actually take it further into the community, because I do see it as a community thing. So I do try and do that.
Awesome. And I think we were also speaking about, sporting industry meetups and networking groups. Have you seen much of that in Melbourne? I was saying in Sydney there are one or two that I've heard of, but I guess as someone from outside the industry previously, there wasn't a lot that I knew of anyway. Like, is there anything in Melbourne that you've been to or that you would recommend, even if it is cricket specific?
Again, my exposure to it has primarily been around the cricket associations in my area at this stage. So probably not the best answer, I guess, at this stage.
Yeah.
However, this is something I'm exploring as well, trying to see, what more could be done from my end to be able to get to such events, and some things that I could kind of involve myself in more.
Right. Awesome.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to check out more of our content, go to sporttechdaily.com or follow us on social media across Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram.